Hello, my little lovebirds. TonyaTko here. And you know, it's so weird. Before I started recording, I really did not feel like making a video. But now that I'm recording, you know, I feel, I don't know, I feel better about making the video. You know, it's warm today, but it's really cloudy in New York. And I have a lot going on my mind. I'm really tired. I didn't sleep last night because I don't know why, but whenever I'm eating clean, like the cleaner I eat, the more vivid, active, and real my dreams are. So I've been having some really vivid, you know what, and I have these dreams that come to pass. Like I'll have these really vivid dreams, and in the dreams it just seems preposterous, and then I'll actually live that moment in my life, and it'll be like deja vu, except I'm like, God, I saw this in a dream. You know, and that happened to me when I was at Disney on Ice the other day. I had a dream when I did my raw vegan thing. I had this like, dream that I was like watching this children's thing, and when I woke up I was like, that's so foolish. Why would I ever be at a children's thing? Because I went to Disney on Ice, and like the way these little puppet things were dancing, these little stuffed animal people were dancing, I was like, why would I ever be at something like that? And then it came to pass that I was at it. So last night I'm having all of these vivid dreams, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about, if you met the man or woman of your dreams, would you be ready? I have to hurry up and make this video because my father is on his way now. He's retired, so he helps me press soaps. So this video is going to be sponsored by TKO Skin Black Soap. This is the black soap right here. It comes in 3 different sizes. It comes in the travel size. This is the way the black soap looks. Real black soap is not black. Real black soap is brown. It's made from all natural ingredients. All of my labels have like the ingredients of what's actually inside of it on the labels. So like if you see that it has plantain, coconut, shea butter, coconut oil. It has a lot of different natural ingredients in there, and it helps you get rid of acne on your face and also on your body. And it cleanses your skin without drying. It pulls out the dirt from the subdermal layers without ripping the moisture off the upper layers. So this video is sponsored by that. This is the standard size, the travel size, and it even comes in 1 pound wholesale. So this is my favorite. That's what my whole family uses. So this video, if you want skin like mine, come over to tkoskin.com. As you know, right now I'm at the TKO Skin Loft. This is where all of the things are handmade and produced. So my father's going to come. He'll be pressing soaps in the back over there. And so today, well, one of my workers broke his leg, so he hasn't been to work in a few days. So I was back there I was cutting the soap into parts so that into weighed parts, 5-ounce parts, so that my father could press it into a machine that he invented that turns it into a circle. Cut on my hand at Disney on Ice. And so it gets pressed into this like little hockey puck size, and it's really nice. It's condensed, and it's hard when it's like that, so it lasts a little bit longer because you get more inside. And so while I was cutting the soaps, I was just thinking and thinking and thinking about life, and about relationships, and about love, and about my life, and about people, and about the letters that I receive, and about how to get out the friend zone, and what would happen if this person that the person was in the friend zone with, you know, turned around and wanted them. What would happen at that point? You know, and I just started, I wanted to ask people, what would you do right now? Is your life, let me sit up straight. Oh, let me show you guys my head. This is, I don't know what day today is, but my hair's growing back. Should I leave my hat off or put it back on? I'll leave it on until I feel comfortable enough to take it off. Sometimes I feel like covering my head. I don't know, I feel protected that way, you know. So anyway, that's too much. Okay. If the man or woman of your dreams came into your life right now, what would you do? Is your life set up in such a way, how you're living, are your living arrangements conducive to dating the person of your dreams? Are you ready to let a person in? Are you financially, are you at a place in your life where you feel comfortable financially? In terms of self-development, are you at a place, are you comfortable enough with yourself that if the person of your dreams, I'm talking about a person who looks how you want them to look, has the finances you want them to have the lifestyle, the health style, the values, and is going in the direction that you want to go in, are you at a state or stage in your life that if that came into your life right now, you'd be like, okay, let's go, let's get married, let's settle down, let's go have some babies or whatnot? Are you at that stage? And the reason why it comes to mind because I was having a conversation with a person who feels very self-conscious, about their looks, etc., etc. But yet they're still dating. And and I presented the question to them. And the thing is that we have ways of self-sabotaging. We have ways of poisoning our potential. And we have ways of poisoning the potential of our relationships, or not even feeling worthy of the relationships. Whereas if somebody who you felt was really, really, really good looking, if they came into your life and was like, wow, I adore you or whatnot, would you hear these compliments and absorb them in, or would you repel them because you are not comfortable with the way that you look, or you're not comfortable with who you are, where you are in life? If you're not comfortable with your body, so much so that you don't want people getting close to you, so that you don't want to disrobe, so that you're not even in a state where you can attract the type of person that you want. For example, I know a person, I know a woman who is severely obese, so much so that she has rendered herself infertile with her obesity. And so the doctor said, listen, you can have children, you just have to lose weight, right? She's not losing weight. She wants to settle down. She does not do anything to work out, not even walking. Not even walking a few blocks. Anywhere she goes, she has to take cabs, etc., etc. Not even walking a few blocks, or doing stairs, nothing. Not even 5 minutes of stretching in the morning. Nothing to lose weight. And she's not comfortable with her body, and she feels that, oh, people should accept me for who I am, stop being shallow, etc. Meanwhile, she's infertile. She's morbidly obese. And then the kicker is that she's looking for a man who has six-pack abs. She doesn't want somebody who's out of shape like her. She wants a man who has six-pack abs, and she wants a man who's physically in shape. And I'm wondering, are we the people that we want to be to attract the people that we want to attract? Are you a healthy person and you want to attract a healthy person? Are you yourself first healthy? Are you saying that you're interested in a long-term relationship, that you're interested in marriage, but you haven't really traveled, you don't really know who you are, you're not comfortable with who you are, you're not comfortable with how much money you're making, you're unemployed, so it's like, okay, and I'm going to give you guys an example about me, because listen, this is not, I'm your big sister, and I don't preach from the pulpit far away. I talk about, and then here, I'll let you guys know, this is my book. I have a book that's coming out. It's still being written. It's going to be published in 3 different volumes. The first volume is going to be on self-esteem. And in the self-esteem book, I have a workbook in there so that you could work through the things that you're going through now to get your self-esteem bulletproof like mine. Because there's a lot that I had to go through. So the name of the book is Lessons from a Motherless Child, 10 Most Crucial Secrets I Learned the Hard Way so that you don't have to. So these are things that I've lived through my life, and I'm going to tell you. When I was in my 20s, I thought that I was ready. I thought I was ready to to settle down, and for the greater portion of my 20s I spent it celibate, trying to get to know myself and once I got to know myself to a certain point, I was like, okay, so now I'm ready, right? And when I started, when I put myself back out there, feeling that I was ready, what ended up happening is I got into different frustrating relationships that were, I can't think of the word, but just like, I got into these relationships that just really weren't going anywhere. They were confusing, and they were muddled with all sorts of different things. And when I stepped back from one of my more trying relationships, I realized, I looked back at the pattern of who it was that I was dating, and I realized that I had a pattern of dating men who were not ready. And the reason why I dated men who were not ready is because deep down, I was not ready. I wasn't ready. When I looked at my life, and when I looked at the areas of my life that I still felt that I needed to improve upon, I realized that there were just things that just needed tweaking. There were things that needed to be, I don't want to say fixed, but enhanced, repaired. You know, for one, you guys know I've been to 26 countries all around the world, right? And I'm happy to have been able to see these places. I'm blessed. Let me open up this because the light is going down. I'm blessed to have, well, the sun is going behind a cloud. I'm blessed to have been able to travel the world as I have. Now, whenever I would travel, I would go to a place and I would stay in each place a minimum of 1 month. To this point in my life, that's dwindled down to 3 weeks. 3 weeks still at this stage is the minimum amount of time that I'd stay in a place. So what I would do is I would travel for half of the year. I had not spent a winter in New York since like 2005. So I would travel. I would travel half of the year. I would come back. I would do my graphic design out on the road, etc. And so it's like that's not the type of lifestyle that's conducive to settling down. It really isn't. So it's like, on the one hand, I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I want. But in actuality, that's not even something that I could fit or even wanted to fit in my life at that time. So I had to be really honest with myself, and I just had to continue to do my thing. So I wanted to ask you guys out there, are you truly ready? If you look at your life now, if you look at where you're living, how you're living, what it is that you're doing, how you feel about yourself. I don't know if I finished making the point, but if the person of your dreams came into your life right now and they were like, oh my goodness, look, I love you, I'm ready. Is your self-esteem in a place where you could be like, oh yeah, I deserve this, I know that this person is truly mine? Or will you be like, oh no, this seems too good to be true, why would a person like that really want a person like me? Or oh no, this person is so good looking, everybody else is going to want them too? Will you start hounding and stalking, and stalking their Facebook page, and like, who's that writing on their picture, who is this, go into their pages, and and all of that? Will that be you? Will you be confident and secure enough? Are you ready? Do you think that you're worthy? This is my vitamin E putting on my lips, keep them healed, moist, and nice. So yeah, are you at a stage where you're ready? Do you think you deserve it? If a beautiful person told you that they thought that you were physically beautiful too, would you believe them, or would you be like, yeah, this person is trying to get something from me, this can't be real, nah, this is a trick? Would you be like that? I think I pretty much said all that I needed to say. I would love your comments below, because I think that there's a certain amount of preparation that we have to do for ourselves. I think that there's a certain amount of healing that we need to do. All of us have come into contact with ideas about dating, mating, and relationships that were a part of our early childhood conditioning, where we saw things and experience things that became a part of our truth, or rather a part of our normalcy. So that we were raised in a household where screaming and yelling at one another seemed normal, where getting upset and throwing fists seemed normal, where always having to chase after a person who was never there. You know, many people witness their parents, one parent chasing after another parent, or you yourself, your one of your guardians is not there, so you're constantly chasing after them for affection. And then so these things become normal to us, and we replicate these we duplicate these behaviors in our relationships, because this is what feels normal. So that when a relationship comes into our life, which is by general standards normal, it doesn't have the screaming, it doesn't have the fighting, it doesn't have the contortion, so it doesn't really feel like love. You don't get that feeling of, you know, you don't get that nostalgic feeling of always pining after a partner who is just slightly out of your reach, just like your distant, emotionally cold mother was, or just slightly out of your reach, like your father who started a new family down in Florida. You know, it's like, so there's, so, and that's part of what, you know, we're gonna talk in one section of this book. I have a manual so that we can work through some of those issues, so that we can confront those issues which created the pattern of normalcy. Because, you know, it's like these things happen in our life when we're children, and the seed gets planted in our small little beings, and that seed begins to grow, and the roots become intertwined and interwoven into the fabric of our being, so much so that the people that we become and what it is that we are right now is so entangled and so wrapped up in those seeds that were planted, that in order to become dislodged from that, we need to strip away the very roots, break them off of our foundation one by one. Each one of those things which were not true, we got to break those off. And you know what your untruths are. There are things that just don't feel right. You know, I had a friend quite recently, a guy friend. And so, you know, we have this friendship, and in the friendship, you know, we would joke, you know, you joke around with one another, especially when you have a guy, there's the guy friend, there's a great tremendous amount of threshold for bantering back and forth, especially for jibing one another. And things had started to change in our acquaintanceship. And so we began to speak on a different level, right? And when we began to speak on a different level, things got very precarious. It was like, oh, I don't even know how to describe it. That bantering turned into something else, where it turned into something that used to be funny, into something that began to get harsh, you know, and where people were saying things, well, he was saying things and I was saying things, you know, which could have been funny, except they had a ring of truth to them. And then it turned into like profanity. And then he told me that I was acting like a bitch or whatnot. And then like profanity was thrown back and forth, and our acquaintanceship descended, it mutated into something that used to be playful and fun, into something that just didn't feel right to me. Like that whole, because you see, I don't engage in profanity in my videos. There's a certain air of peace that I like to have around me. Friend, dating, whatever, I like to have an air, family, whomever, I like to have an air of peace around me. And when we got into this level, I was like, I had to reject it. I had to rebuke that feeling because there was something that did not, oh God, like warning signs went off, and there was something that did not resonate with my core being. I had to rebuke that. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to I don't want to continue along those lines. And I had to put an end to that. I don't want to continue along the lines where it's okay for somebody to feel that they can call me a B. You know, first it's, oh, you're acting like a B. Or then it's, don't be a B. Then it's, stop being a B. Then it's, you stupid B. Then where does it go from there? You know what I mean? So it's like, I had to pump the brakes on that and put a pause on that, because that, it didn't feel right. And I think that we have to become familiar with who we are in our core being. We have to become familiar with truth, real truth, not what it was that was implanted into us, the seed that became wrapped around us, and that became the only truth that we knew. Like allegory of cave. Those of you who are familiar with Plato know the allegory of cave, where there's a person. And you guys said you like my profile, so I'll let you guys see my profile. Here's the profile side of my head. So there's a person in a cave, and when they look on the wall inside the cave, they see a shadow. And based on what it is that they know, they form all of their ideas based off of that shadow that they see. Meanwhile, they don't realize that the shadow is coming from a hole in the back of the cave, in which there are things happening back there. So all they see is this shadow, and this becomes 100% of their truth, because they don't know more than what it is that they see on the cave wall. But it takes that person to stop, to pause, and then to start to investigate, to leave what is normal and what is 100% of their truth, and turn around and look outside and realize that there's something else that may be happening. And so you step outside of the cave, and those little figurines that you saw dancing on the wall or moving around on the wall, which you thought may have been flicker gods or whatever it was you thought it was, once you step outside of the cave, you realize that those flicker gods that you saw were actually people who were standing around and dancing in the sunlight, and what you saw on the wall was the reflection of them bouncing off of the sun onto the wall. But if the wall is all that you know, this is 100% of your existence. But I'm telling you, in each and every one of you, there's a part of you that you've been programmed to see as 100% of the truth. Is this truth? Is that truth? Or is what's truth when you step outside that cave and have a look around? When you start to investigate, when you start to dig down into the layers of your own life, and you start to see, okay, mama and daddy used to fight a lot. So fighting became a symbol of love for me. Or mama was a drunk, and I always had to pick mama up after a heavy night of drinking, so that when you come into your adult life, there are plenty of feasible mates for you. But the people who you feel most at home with, the people who resonate with that which has been programmed into the early parts of your nervous system, are the people who got the broken bird syndrome. They're going through some big transition in their life. So you feel like you're at home rescuing them because you always had to rescue mama or whatnot. I think that we each have to, and my truth is going to be different than your truth. My truth is going to be different. And you know what? There are going to be just some things that you're going to have to just reject. And if something does not feel right to your being, you have to push it out. You know, and then it all boils down to where you are in your life and whether or not you're ready. Will you be like me and spend your time idling with mates who are also not ready to afford you the freedom to be able to travel and do whatever you want, so that you can go have your dream job or go out and guilt-free? Because nobody's weighing you down, nobody's tying you down, you know. So it's like, and you know what, there's nothing wrong with not being ready, But be honest with yourself. Be honest with the people that you're dating. If you're not ready, you're just not ready. But I think honesty is the first step so that you can go from there. But if you are pretending as if you're ready and you're constantly butting your head against brick walls, I don't think that you are. I think that you have to take a step back and look at your life and figure out. That must be my dad right there. You know what? Let me go grab that. But figure out, why is it if I say that, that I love myself, that I would allow somebody to scream at me and disrespect me? Why is it that I say that, that I want to be in a healthy relationship, but the very first moment that this person raises their voice or raises their fist at me, why is it that I don't leave? What is it about that confirms how I feel about myself so that I stay in this relationship that becomes my truth? Listen, oh my goodness, let me go grab that. TonyaTko, all my links are below. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. And my website, TonyaTko.com, is going to be back up again soon. So just stay up with me. I love your comments below. Let's hug before I go. Hug. Okay. TonyaTko, and I'm out. Peace.